Hello and welcome to Top Up Design. Today we're going to look at the calibration of your Cameo machine. I'm using a Cameo Pro 4 today. You can use other different ones obviously. The calibration process is pretty much the same through the whole Silhouette range due to the software being the same. So let's get into it. So you all recognise the workspace, I've all been here. My machine is connected and ready to go, so make sure it's connected and ready to go first. You can see that I have a Pro and a Plus. It's only my Pro connected today. I'm not messing about. I'll be connected through the USB port, it's just a bit more reliable. So to get to your actual calibration screen, you just right click on your machine here. You have lots of different options. You've actually got 3 different kinds of calibration. So you got your calibration where you use your sensor, your distance calibration. Distance calibration is how far it travels for a given distance. Now I won't get into the boring maths and things about the stepper motors that the machines use, but for a given distance the motor turns a certain amount, and by changing that, that's effectively what you're going to change. Your tool separation, you're just going to do 2 cuts and measure the distance between the 2 cuts. So when you use blade 1 it knows where that is. When you use blade 2, if you was to use it on the same project or piece of card or vinyl, whatever you're using, it will know the distance between them, so it should cut the same distance. So if you had an offset and you use blade 1 to kiss cut it and then blade 2 to do like a full depth cut or something like that, the distance around the outside should stay the same. But we're going to concentrate on calibration of the sensor basically for when you do something like a print and cut, and it auto registers. So we click calibration. It brings us up in this screen. My computer's running slow. So it gives you these little green areas here. They're where you're actually going to manually put your blade, not your sensor, your blade. So I've seen quite a few people, when they do manual registration, they move the sensor there and not the actual blade tip. So it's important to move the blade tip. This A and B here, and 1 and 2 there for when you do the distance cuts later. And then over here, where the mouse cursor is here, this is where you can actually change it after you've done the cut. So first thing you do is do a print test page. So you click on print, select whatever printer you want to use. Mine's the Canon. I've got Epson XP and another one. That's me inkjet printers. These 2 Epson ones are sublimation printers. It just prints on a piece of A4. I use card, so I go to somewhere like Asda, Walmart, somewhere cheap, and just buy some white card for this. Well, no point wasting money. I don't like using paper, it seems to stick to the mat a bit much. I'm using quite an old mat as well, so it doesn't stick too well. Once you've done the cut, the print, sorry, you can then go to your machine, stick it down on your mat, and then load your mat in. So we'll do that. So you don't have to really load your mat in that accurately for this, which is a good job, because mine's just gone wrong. Load your mat in. Once your mat is loaded in, you want to manually put the blade over the green area. So I'm going to use blade 1, which is an auto blade. So it's lined up, so it's roughly in that area of the green where it did it. And then once you've done that, I keep losing my mouse. Hit the calibrate button on your software. Alignment to blade number 3 then. And then it'll cut, and then you want to do this for every single square that is on there. So I've done this one here, the first one, that one there. I'm now going to do this one, and that one, that one, that one, that one, that one, and that one, and so on. So I'm just going to quickly go through them now. Quickly back to that, and I'm going to do these now. Number 2 done. Doesn't matter what order you do them in, you can do them in any order. I'm just going to quickly fire through them as quick as I can. It's a bit annoying with the auto blade. I've noticed that it redoes it every time, but there you go. It might be better to tell it there's a ratchet blade or put the ratchet blade in. But it doesn't take that long. Might be worth doing a test cut before you do this. This will be the 4th one. Go to the next one. I'll just move it down. I don't particular order. So once this is done, you can measure how far it is out on the crosshair that it's printed. So if it was, say, 2mm to the right of the vertical, then you'd adjust it that way. If it was 2mm vertical of the left, you'd adjust it that way. It is pretty easy to do. People say these machines are noisy, but they're not that noisy really. Just finding my weeding tool ready. Yeah, you don't have to be that accurate. We're lining it up. As long as it's in the green zone, it should register it. And once it's done, I'm just gonna unload the mat a little bit. I'm not going to take it all the way out. And then have a look. I'm just going to use the weeding tool to lift them up. So if we go in close, you look, it has cut slightly to the right of the print and slightly under the print there on that one. I don't know if you can see it that well. So I'm going to move mine half a millimetre to the left, I think, and I might leave the other one where it is. So if we go back to the software, and if you look on these ones here, my mouse and that isn't aligned very well. On here, so mine's cutting it's cutting slightly to the right of the line. So I'm going to tell it to move this way. Go a quarter of a millimetre. That's close enough. And then I'm going to move it back in. I'm just going to pick the bottom one. Really, you should print out another one. Didn't get lined up properly. So if you see, it's now put this little sliver off there. It's not visible there, and that sliver is where I've moved it across that quarter of a millimetre. Now it's bang on, and if you look, we've got a bit of black here, so now I'm going to move it the other way, quarter of a millimetre on the software. Just knock the microphone out. So now I'm going to move this quarter of a millimetre. I'll do. I'm going to move it back to the same one. And then hit calibrate on the software. Do its thing. Let's cut that, let's get it out. There's the sliver where I've adjusted it up quarter of a mil. So I'd say that is pretty bang on putting in the middle of the print. If you'd do this several times and not be very successful, I'd print a few spare cards out first before you start doing it, and then that way you won't have to print and then wait and go back to it. You'd just be able to do it all in one go. So that is that one. Now, the other one you will need a ruler for. I mean, you could use a vernier, but I wouldn't So you click the distance up here, you see it highlighting, click that one. Now this will cut from A to B at number 1 and 2. So when you hit cut test lines, it will cut along the top and cut along the bottom. So it's telling you to, you can't see that much. I've got something pop up on my screen that you can't see. Okay. Anyway, I'll do another video on the cut test lines for the distance. But that is how to get your registration. So when you do print and cut, it does the registration like that. I will do another video on the cut test lines for your distance later on. Thank you very much. Don't forget, if you like the video, comment below for anything that I may have missed out. Subscribe and hit the bell for updates. Thank you very much.